like that. So thank you, Kida and Chantel, for having me here. Yeah, should we go to the next slide? So what I'm going to be talking about, is best practice in designing and delivering engaging, creative opportunities for young people. There's a whole lot to it, having an idea is the beginning, and then I was kind of looking at it from my point of view from where we start, middle, and end. So that's kind of what I'm going to be talking to you about. Just a little bit more about MVP. We do a lot of creative courses, so working in the creative industries as well. So can you show them? 98.
King Thriller.
There we go. So current projects, I wanted to just kind of quickly talk about a couple of things that we're doing at the moment, just so that you know a little bit more about what we do. So summer holiday program. In the last 4 weeks, we worked with about 140 young people doing courses in gaming and coding, music production, songwriting, and comic book design. That was happening over the summer holiday. We also have what we call our Break Bread and Build project, which is an early intervention project where we work with young people, 12 to 16-year-olds, that come and kind of, we have a meal with them and we do some mentoring, and we have an industry guest speaker that comes, or a guest speaker that kind of comes in and talks to them about the mentoring that we've been discussing. It's kind of making it alive. So working really on personal social development for these young people, getting them ready to go into whatever they wanted to go into. That's media, whatever that is. It's kind of about, especially now, navigating through these difficult times, gaining a new perspective, and kind of working and building their confidence and planning their future. Another thing that we are working on is the artist development program.
Music to me means everything.
I couldn't put it in words. Like, music is involved in everything I do.
I don't see myself doing anything other than music.
I feel like life wouldn't be life without music.
I can't go a day without listening to music.
No matter how much I want to run away from it, it's in me.
I'll be going to like functions and they always want me to freestyle or rap battle or drop a verse. So I felt like music was chasing me.
16 Plus program was funded by the Arts Council, doing 6 tracks with the young people, taking to a professional studio, getting a professionally mixed and mastered music video, and a documentary again towards that again. Everything that we can get our young people to progress into whatever they have. They have a portfolio, they have stuff there. Another thing that we are doing is the content production team. As you can see, my lovely people here. This is the Kickstarter scheme. You must have heard about the Kickstarter scheme. We have been taking in videographers, editors, photographers, as you can see there, and they are all part of our Kickstart scheme, Kickstart placement as well. So it's kind of a flavor of what we are doing at the moment. Another exciting thing that's happening is that we're working with Westminster University and the architectural team, department and Waltham Forest to design a community hub in Leighton. And this is going to be a state-of-the-art hub. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be, we're taking Waltham Forest right into the 21st century. That's where we need to be. So that's going to be, a digital, hub where people can come and their delivery, but we can stream it out. It's going to be very, very great. It's going to be great. So that's something that we're looking forward to as well. Yeah. So. An example of an outstanding delivery that we've been running for a long time is called our Go Live project. And what we do at our Go Live project is we combine music production, singing, songwriting. Again, what we try to do is always give them a real life example of what it means to work in the music industry or in the entertainment industry as an artist. They go into, participants go into either music production, singing or songwriting. They create the beats and they create the song. We do 2 songs. We create 2 original songs with the young people, but then we mix it and master the tracks as well, put them on all streaming platforms. We also do a music video. We shoot that with them. And that goes on YouTube as well. Again, why do we do this? We want to make sure that our young people understand what they're getting into. Yes, it might be a passion of theirs, or it might be just a hobby, but we want to show them and expose them to the real life and how it works as well. So this is why we do what we do. I'm hoping this video is going to work. This is a music video that we did with young carers about 4 years ago, where they wrote the song, they wrote the lyrics, and we shot a music video. Yeah, this is the kind of products that we will have, the young people can be proud of when they.
Superhero, 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 superhero. I'll take care of you. I know what to do. Leave a legacy. 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 Leave a legacy.
Legacy's my chemistry. I don't have no enemies. Helping my mom, she's more than a friend to me. I'm big and brave, never afraid. Helping out my mom makes me feel great.
I'm a young carer, care for my mum. I'm full of energy and lots of fun. Me and my bro, young heroes, helping out mum is all we know. Superhero, 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 superhero. I'll take care of you. I know what to do. Superhero, 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 superhero. I'll take care of you. I know what to do. Leave a legacy. 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 Superhero. 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 Superhero.
My name's Vasanth. I'm a young carer, and the best thing about being a young carer is you get good experience in helping people.
My name's Danger.
The good thing to be a young carer is that you get to meet new people, you get to go on trips, and you get to do enjoyable stuff.
My name is Banana. To be a young carer is good because I get to help my mum and all my family so they can be strong.
My name is Cookie. Being a young carer is really important to me, and it's the best to me and my mum. No matter what happens, I'll be there for her. Being here, I love it, and it's the best.
Leave a legacy. 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 Leave a legacy.
When I help my mum do chores, I'm leaving a legacy. When I help my mum around, I'm leaving a legacy. When I help my family understand disability, I'm leaving a legacy. When I help my brother with his room, I'm leaving a legacy. When I help my mum when she's falling over, I'm leaving a legacy.
Superhero. 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 Superhero.
Yes, so that's just an example. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's just an example of what we do, of what we try to do with our young people. Not only do we show them the creativity, but there's so much more involved, as you can see. We're going to be talking about kind of the phases, and it's going to go very quick, and then I have a young person that's going to come and talk to you as well about their experiences, and you can ask those questions as well, as if you want to. So next slide, please. Looking at fundraising, planning, delivery, and review. That's kind of what I'm going to be touching on. Next. Yeah. So when we start thinking about what you want to deliver, I've seen some really cool stuff happening here with clay and everything. Thinking about what do you want to deliver, thinking about what is going to be the outcome. What are the outcomes? And usually when you do funding applications, they tell you what the outcomes are. So it's kind of mapping your project to those outcomes that the funder wants. I know that there's going to be a lot of talk about funding later, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Make sure it's smart. Make sure it's achievable, project specific, measurable, realistic, and time bound. Now, why do I say that? Because I want the young people to do everything at once, and if I don't plan it, nothing's going to happen, so it's really, really important to kind of really think about what your outcomes are, Are they tangible? How are you going to evaluate your project? How can you show, how can you evidence what has been done in this? Those are the things that you should be looking at and thinking about when you're preparing or planning to do an application. Just a note, funding applications outcomes can take up to 6 months. So make sure that the funding applications are written ASAP, as soon as. Next slide. Yes, you will. Another thing, planning part, staffing, very, very important. At MVP, what we do is we work with people that are working in the music or entertainment industry and our teachers as well. Why do we do that? We want to make sure that our young people really understand what it takes to do what they're doing in real life. So they always have a role model that they can look at and say, like, okay, this is a music producer. I want to become a music producer. How do I live? How does it work? And those conversations are so lovely when they have it with people that are working in the music industry as well. But as much as it is important to have, the kind of the pizzazz of the industry in there, it's really, really important to have teacher background, somebody with a teacher background and with a teaching qualification as well. We have duals, so they do work in the music industry, but they also have teaching qualifications as well, or have experience in working in the school. Things like safeguarding, disciplinary, procedures, behavior management. It needs to be covered when you're working with young people. Another thing is lesson plans and schema work. I hope this is going to work, but the database, yeah. Planning. Schema work is, and lesson plans is what we have for every day. We plan. There's every minute is planned out, which means that we can then, now that I know the rules, we can break it. But as long as we have rules, as long as we have everything planned out, it goes kind of smooth. Yeah? Yeah, there we go. So kind of what we look at is, breakdown of the day, classrooms, if you go to overview, or timetable. We have a kids menu as well. That's where we, this is something that we can share with our young people. What is happening today, miss? Here you go. This is what we're doing. Scheme of work, that's where, everything is, written down of what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be discussing. And a disciplinary log, for the, to log everything that's going on as well. So this is kind of, this is all that we do as well. Once you have all of these things, once you know your staff, you know your venue, you know what you're delivering, you've got the material, that's when you go into marketing and promotion. We can go back into the thing, it's really important that when you go into marketing or when you start promoting your courses, not a lot of things change. That's why it's so important to have it all ready. Have your tutors ready, have everything ready. Because once you go to marketing and then things do change, dates change. It just makes it waters down the provision. So that's kind of what we do with the marketing. Promotion is very important. That's where we go. What we do at how we promote is we promote through our social media outlets, but I also have contacts in schools and also with the borough as well. So I send my information to the student services at different schools. Kelmscott has been a really good school. They've been really helpful. Anytime I call and say, like, we have something going, they let me come into the assembly and speak about what we're doing. So it's been really, really good. But having those, contacts with schools as well is going to make it so much easier. Also with borough, services, targeted youth services, youth offending team, young carers. All of those departments are people that can disseminate the information that you have for them. And then student recruitment. That's what I just talked about. Staff contracts. Make sure that you have a contract. Makes things easier, sets up the expectations for your staff, and it's just a formalized way of doing things. Staff training, very, very important part as well, that what we do before we start with, before we go into delivery. It's about talking about the MVP experience, making sure that everybody at the staff know what we're about and what we're trying to do. We go through a safeguarding training with them, very, very important. Sometimes artists will not know about the safeguarding side of it, and it's such an important part of delivery. So we train them over safeguarding, how to disclose safeguarding, how the procedures work, who the right people are, but also the day-to-day delivery of the session, going through all of what we just showed you, the scheme of work and stuff. And yeah, staff contracts again, staff contracts where they sign everything as well. Student contracts, that's something that we do as well. On the first day of delivery, we have a workshop agreement. The workshop agreement kind of looks at student details, any learning difficulties, any other things like that. But also, if we're allowed to take pictures of them, that's very important because we do need pictures. We do need to capture what we can, case studies, all that kind of stuff. So that all is, and also the disciplinary procedures is also in our workshop agreement. So parents know what's going on, and the young people know what's going on as well. Yeah. Yes.
Do you ever get the young people to write those disciplinary agreements with you, they make the rules about?
We do that as well. Yeah, we do that as well. What we do is we already have our procedures in place, or our rules, but we get them to say it. So it's coming from them. Definitely, that's a very good practice, so that they really understand it and feel responsible. Staff team here, some of my tutors, some of my my team. Next. So a day in the life of an MVP project. Not going to take too long, but icebreakers, warm-up games. Somebody said that here as well. It's about bonding. It's about getting the young people to free themselves up, to start because what we're going to do with them is we're going to take them into the studio. We're going to do songwriting with them. This is very, very deep things for young people to just even start. So how do we get them kind of ready for that? Icebreakers. I'm always very keen on our tutors to take part in our icebreaker games, because without the tutors, being in part of the games, it can get hard. So really, really getting them out of their comfort zone, getting them to be obnoxious. This is the time. Vocational delivery. We do 10 to 3. Only 2 hours is of vocational delivery. Why? Because that's only a part of it. There's so much to do with the personal social development, all other types of things as well. We also make sure that we use industry standard equipment. So we are in a music studio. We do use industry standard equipment. The briefs are industry standard as well. So again, making them understand that we're respecting them as young entrepreneurs or young creatives, not as children. Once you get into that, bro, it gets hard with young people. Yeah. Like I said, personal social development is a very, very big key part of what we do. We spend a lot of time on that. We go through something what we call the major keys of success. Do we have that there? These are the 5 major keys, and every day we talk to them about an hour. What does it take to become successful? Because again, these are transferable skills. We're not talking anymore about music making. We're talking about if they want to achieve something in life, this is what it takes to get into it. So it's a much bigger conversation that we're having all the time with the young people. This is after we're finished with the delivery. We've done the week, it's all done. We're at the end of the delivery. Collect your paperwork, get your surveys, get your end of project surveys, your registers, get everything from your tutors. You might not see your tutors again. I'm just telling you out of experience. Just make sure you get everything, that you have it all with you. Monitoring and evaluation, very, very, very important. Ensuring all your data is captured and has been uploaded. Student registers, student details, things like ethnicity, gender, all of this stuff is going to be good for your reporting and good for your next funding application that you're going to fill out, because you can evidence what you've already done, and it's really important to be able to evidence this stuff. End of project report, usually the funder will require that of you, but it's a good way as well for you to reflect on what you've done. Again, when you look at the funding application, there's stuff there that you're going to need to report on. Embed it in your provision. Don't wait till the end. When the young people are gone, it's very hard to get them back and ask them those questions. So make sure you're embedding it all in your provision. Staff payments, make sure you pay them on time. It's very important. But also, if there is, and that's also, sometimes it takes a while for funders to pay. So make your tutors aware of that. It might take a longer period to pay, because that's always the thing that can be very strenuous if you're not getting the payment from the funder and people are waiting to get paid. Just make it clear to them in the beginning that that's what's happening. Yeah. Learner work. Make sure that you have all your learner work and you upload it. We have songs now that we're uploading on SoundCloud as well, so that the young people can listen to it, they can show it to their families, they can, this is something that they should celebrate, and also they can put in their portfolios as well. Yeah. So just to round up, and then we're going to have a young person come in. I'm also part of the Amplified London Advisory Group, which is giving funding as well to for music providers as well. So one thing I've learned being on there, and one thing that we always speak about when we talk about young projects for young people, they have to be realistic, achievable. What's the budget? What's the value for money? How much in-kind support can you get? How much match funding can you get? All of these things are important. Legacy, what is the legacy of your program? What's gonna happen after? Think about those things as well. Progression opportunities, where can they go afterwards? What we do is we have our provisions at Big Creative. So these are already higher education facilities. So they already have been introduced to to the environment, to the equipment, things like that is what we do for, for progression. And who's your target demographic and how are you gonna be servicing them? These are the things that funders look at when they fund your project. That's me done with the, I would say, boring stuff, but it's not really boring because it's important. But then I would like to introduce Ayana in. Just come up. Ayana is a young person that has come through our programs. I think she's going to speak a little bit more about it because you've probably heard too much of my voice. So Ayana, what's your name and how old? Well, okay. How old are you?
My name is Joanna, if you didn't know. I'm 20 years old. Right now I'm in uni doing film production, and I also work for MVP, usually during summertime, to do support tutor roles.
Yeah, exactly. And how and when did you first come in contact with MVP?
I first came into contact with MVP in 2018, and it was for a documentary project, and we were made to make a documentary about grime, the emergence of grime, the music genre, and it ended up being called Waltham Forest Grime. And that was screened at Empire, I think November.
Yeah.
It was winter 2019
that
it was screened. And we also showcased it at, what was it, that festival?
Leytonstone Loves Film.
Loves Film Festival.
Yeah,
we also screened it during then as well.
And we had our premiere at the Walthamstow cinema, didn't we?
Yeah, Empire Waltham Cinema, that's where it was first screened at.
Yeah. Okay, how has MVP helped you with your personal and social development?
So when I first started the documentary project, as Joe said, we always do icebreakers. And back in 2019, I think I just started my second year of college. So I was really, really shy and I had no idea what I was doing. I pretty much just started with films. I didn't really know exactly where my bearings were and how much I knew about film and photography, but they definitely did make me feel comfortable. We got to know each other first before we even started anything, and from then I learned that just getting to know who you're working with, and once you know them, once you kind of know how each other work, you end up creating work that could be 100 times better than if you didn't get to know each other with icebreakers at first. So definitely I feel like the main thing with MVP is building up your confidence, and that definitely really helped me, because if it wasn't for that, then no way would I be able to stand in front of you guys today and speaking about how my experience was doing documentary.
Yeah. You kind of already spoke about what you're doing right now, so Ayana is somebody that was on our did a course with us, but then went on to become a support tutor on the last 4 weeks as well. So support tutoring for the courses that we've been running. How was that for you? How was that experience for you?
It was good. I feel like it was definitely a gradual development. So of course, at first I was one of their students, and from when I was their students, they always treated us as adults, and they were definitely getting us ready for adult life and freelancing, doing our own work around. So I wouldn't say that it was a huge jump from being one of MVP's students to being a support tutor, and throughout that entire time they definitely always supported me. If I ever needed support, they would be there for me, helping me to develop my own skills in photography, film. Even if it's just own life problems, I could pretty much say that you're my life tutor. Joe's always there for me, and all of the other stuff at MVP. So working as a support tutor is an amazing experience, working with kids, and it's nice to see how when I work with them, how that used to be me, so I can relate to them a lot more. So because I am a support tutor, I'm not the lead tutor, I usually take on with if there's any behavioural problems or if they need any extra support, I'm there for them. So it's kind of like I've almost become Joe, pretty much.
The better version, I think so. Great. What are your plans for the future?
Plans for the future. So right now I am in uni. So I think once I do finish uni, I want to try and do an internship in film or photography, while still obviously freelancing and working with MVP.
Thank you. That's the end of our presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. I've got even more of them here. So any questions you have for young people, please go for it. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ayana. Start.